customer experience. Now, I've sort of talked about Zoom Phone, about why we entered the phone market. Meetings was what we did best, and phone was a natural thing to add to that element. So why CX? Well, cast your mind back probably 2 years ago, and we put a bid in for Five Nines. Five Nines was one of our, I suppose, partners in the contact center space, such as Five Nines. We work with Nice, we work with Genesis, Fair, and others. So when that fell through, Zoom thought, well, let's design our own. Let's design a product that fits in our whole ecosystem of applications. So hence customer experience was born. So I think we launched about a year ago in the US, and we launched in EMEA in November last year, and we have seen a huge uptake of our applications. Why? Well, you can see it's a simple user experience. We're on that wheel, we're on the client, it's another additional license that sits on the client, so it just works. In fact, that's a phrase I heard earlier on today. I was speaking to somebody, and it's really great to hear, it just works. Zoom just works, which I'm hearing all the time. There's an interesting fact, I guess, is I work with, you may have heard of them, British Telecom in the UK, and they sell various things, Genesis as a for instance. So we did a deep dive analysis on our Zoom contact center with Zoom Virtual Agent, and the great thing they said was it does everything that Genesis does. No, but our total cost of ownership is going to be significantly less. So that's really great to hear, considering we've only been developing this for 2 years, and the amount of features that we're coming out with. And I don't want to steal thunder, but on the roadmap as well, what we're coming out with, we're not stopping at Zoom Virtual Agent, we're not stopping at AI, we're just going to continue developing this life cycle of adding customer experiences to the Zoom platform. And I think one of our largest installations that currently is 2,000 agents, which is the biggest globally, and we've got opportunities for more. So going back to scalability, we can service consumers of 5 users up to 150,000 users. So again, that's our commitment to the consumer marketplace. So as a consumer, what do you want? You want convenience, accuracy, first-time call resolution. You want to be able to contact your business or a business that serves you how you wish. We've talked about omni-channel, which means how you want to communicate. I like web chat because I don't like speaking to people, believe it or not. When I'm busy and doing work, I can use web chat because that's my convenient way of working. If I want to phone somebody, I can choose voice, email them, although my pet hate is when I send an email to a business and they say they'll get back to you in 72 hours. That's not a contact center for my term. And also with video first, as you would expect, meetings was brought up on video. So why not add the video contact center to the current suite of the customer experience? And obviously on any device. If I'm sitting on a train, I want to speak to somebody, live chat or video on my mobile device, or I'm at home, I can do it on my laptop. In the office, I can do it by the phone. So again, it's all this is what I believe as your consumers will want from a business. So as a business, what do they expect? They expect integrity. Trust. I mentioned trust before. It's a key part of any customer experience. They want to trust the company that they're dealing with. Empathy. Understanding a customer's journey and empathizing with how they got there and what's going wrong. Personalization. That is, it's not key, but I think if you can personalize the response to the person that's coming into the business, that just creates a real fluffy feeling as though that company cares for you. That's very easy to do. You just integrate the back office systems and you can pre-populate the information as it comes through. Again, personalization, it means that that company has taken the effort to make sure that you feel wanted and as though you're actually of value to that company. Time and effort goes without saying, and expectations, meeting, exceeding, and customer expectations. Again, it goes back to the empathy and personalization. How do we define it? Customer retention, we've heard it time and time again. Customer retention, the stats are obvious. It takes 70% more time than to get a new customer as opposed to customers that you've already got. Yeah, and it's easy to retain them by simply doing the previous steps that you saw on those slides. Customers, it is a lifetime value. I bank with a company called First Direct, part of the HSBC group. I was one of the first persons to work with First Direct or bank with First Direct. I've been with them 23 years now when they first started. They've got to do something really, really wrong for me to move elsewhere. Even though banks in the UK are offering you £100, £200 to switch, that to me is not worth it in terms of the customer experience I'm receiving already from my bank. So again, that just adds that loyalty. So we've seen the Zoom journey. We obviously all know we started with meetings about 11 years ago, and that moved to team chat and phone about 4 years ago. We introduced PowerPack to enhance the phone, so you could argue that Zoom Phone was a ACD or a contact center for voice only. I talked about PowerPack and the reporting and the wallboards you do get with that. We then moved on. We launched Customer Contact Center, which in its own right was enhanced reporting, enhanced way of working, skills-based routing, which maybe touched upon. Skills-based routing is an essential element for first-time call resolution and that personalization. Call comes in and will hit the most appropriate agent with that skill set to support, whether it's a language, whether it's a skill in a certain product. For that customer to get through to that person and get answered correctly and get resolved the first time without having to be transferred back into business, again, is absolutely key. And I think you heard it earlier on from Karim about how that actually works with real life examples. Virtual agent, which we'll talk about in a little bit of detail. People cost money. If you can have a chatbot that intercepts the web chat and can answer it, again, first time resolution, if they can answer it and get the information to that customer without an agent being involved, that saves money. Yeah, and also, as I say, they never have a headache. They're available 24/7, unlike most people. So again, it's the way to adapt AI into this evolving technologies. And workforce management, which I'll cover in a little bit of detail, which it takes the guesswork out of the contact center experience. So what is it? So contact center, as we've mentioned before, it's a platform, one platform for unified communications and contact center. It's intelligent self-service, advanced skills-based routing, which I've covered. So again, you can see a theme here, the holistic circle of how we envelop applications around our core strengths of Zoom. So we're combining it together. In my experience, and I alluded to earlier, about 30 years worth, I've been into businesses where I've seen people switch from screen to screen or client to client, and it's just a waste of time and a waste of effort, because I've got to pick up a client, somebody phones through on my contact center, and I've got to then reference a back office staff through another application, whether it's chat or whether it's phone, put it in one single client. So again, you can see here that you've got the client sitting at the top with what applications that agent has got access to. Meetings, chat, webinars, events, contacts, contact center, phone, by the simple addition of licenses. It makes it really, really straightforward. So again, it's all about improved first-time contact resolution. So omnichannel I've mentioned before. Currently, we've got, I prefer web chat, so I can go web chat. I can then upgrade that to a voice call. I've now got the ability to push that to a video call as well, which is really, really quite powerful. I forgot the stats somebody mentioned the other day, but with the video call, you're more likely to close a deal with a face-to-face video call rather than a telephone. And I'm not sure whether we'll have a live example, but it's really quite straightforward. As a contact center agent, I can push a URL to the inbound caller or via web chat, they can simply click onto it and then they can engage in a face-to-face video call. Again, it's a very, very powerful way of communicating with the inbound caller. We're talking to banks in the UK and they're setting up contact center kiosks in shopping malls so that people can go into the shopping mall, and if they want to talk to a banking agent about their mortgage or about loans or whatever, they can have that face-to-face personalization. Personally, I'd hate to talk to somebody over the phone about my details. If I've got that face-to-face chat, that creates that empathy with that end user. So it's really quite a powerful way of going from web chat to voice to video, and it's all seamless as well. It's under that single license. So the Zoom virtual agent, the virtual agent, again, a very, very powerful AI context. We've spoken about AI. I know a lot of our competitors are talking about AI as well, but I think the addition of AI Companion, which it pains me to say it, free of charge with all paid licenses, is really, really powerful. I use it all the time, especially with chat. I can reply with a response on the AI Companion for my chat. Meeting summaries we've talked about earlier on, but it's the addition of the AI adding that capability to respond to inbound communications. And actually, one or two actually, Ancestry.com and Ring.com. We've made, seen the Ring doorbells. You press the doorbell and it videos through. They are using our Zoom virtual agent. So if you ever wanted to see what it's looked like, just go onto ring.com or ancestry.com and you'll see our ZVA, or should I say ZVA, in action. Yeah, that's how it actually works. So if you enter a battery, for instance, it will think, right, Ian's talking about batteries, so it's going to be how to replace a battery. Do you want to replace a battery? Do you want to find out what battery it is? Do you want to, so on and so forth? So it's that intelligent. So that's how they're using it. So again, intelligent handoff. So if I am chatting with AI and it can't answer me, it will automatically send that to an agent. Not blind, it will send that to agent with all the context or all the writing I've put in there, so that they're already armed with the information that I've inputted, rather than having to repeat myself. How annoying would that be? I've gone through a 5-minute AI conversation. I go through to an agent, and what's the worst thing they could say? What are you phoning about? Yeah, it's not gonna go well. So again, it's just giving that context to the agent about what this person is actually calling in for. So again, it also, bearing in mind this is all reported as well, so actionable insights. We learn all the time. It's learning all the time. It's all about, say, that first-time call resolution and customer experience. When I mentioned down there, no-code, low-code, maybe an overused phrase, I'm not really sure. I'm not really into coding, but the way you can personalize and do the call flows and how you actually implement the ZVA, it really is a low-code scenario. So if you're into IT or if you're a developer, it is very easy to actually consume and manage this back office scenario. So integration, we've talked about this a lot today. We do integrate with all the back office elements that you work with, like Zendesk, Salesforce, etc. Again, it's a very key area, specifically if you're taking the information from an existing customer. You need to know who that customer is, what they're talking about. But if you're recording the call as well, that recording can then go back into Salesforce. So you've got a record of that recording on their own back office Salesforce record. So again, it's a very powerful implementation or area that people need to look at about how they can make the next call that person calls in about relevant to your business. So again, it's just about that customer experience, customer perception about how you're dealing with their inquiries. Now, I know I've seen a few contact center hands put up. Who's got a help desk? IT help desk? Support help desk? There's a few, there must be. I believe pretty much every business has got a contact center that's not yet raised itself. If I phone into an IT support desk, it's not only about getting that first-time call resolution, it's about recording the call. It's about how that call's been dealt with and its success rate as well. So I need to know that. So I think most businesses, in fact, most businesses I've been to see, do have a contact center of some description, whether it's a full-blown omni-channel or whether it's a simple informal voice contact center. And that might just be internal. That might be an internal help desk that is a small team of IT professionals that take those calls and work with them. So again, contact centers can be very informal, 5 users, or very formal, 2,000 users, full-blown omni-channel suite, full call recording, analytics with your Zoom virtual agent enveloped in there as well. So again, going back to the previous one, we go from 5 to 2,000 in whatever complexity and applications you really want to look at. So just a brief example of, and I don't like the phrase drink our own champagne. Somebody said it's like eating your own dog food and all that kind of stuff. But there's an example after Zoomtopia last year, which we had a load of partners visit San Jose. We opened up our IT ticket help desk and we had these stats. Like 2.7 million user sessions on ZVA, $13 million in cost savings. 95% of the customers say their bot solved their problems. That's 95% first-time call resolution without hitting an actual live agent. So again, very powerful, very comprehensive. Again, it saves money. They never have a headache, and it's open 24/7. So if you're a global operation, you can scale down your contact center agents in favor of a ZVA. Yeah, that's what we do. We scale, and we've got a global follow the sun support desk. So I think I'm going to show a ZVA, or yeah, I'm going to show a bit of ZVA anyway about how it can work. But to me, it is the cherry on the icing on the cake. Contact center. Absolutely. So I think in terms of the view of UCaaS or CCaaS, which is communication or contact center as a service, it really does liven up those. So for those of you with Genesys, we still work with Genesys. For those of you with 5.9s or Nice in Contact and TalkDesk, they still are integration partners. So we're not saying if you take a Zoom platform or a Zoom phone, you've got to get rid of these. No, we still work with Genesys. We still work with these companies. But of course, you can migrate Zoom Contact Center as and when at your own pace. So it's not a forklift upgrade. Going back to the point of bring your own PBX, when you start integrating that, bring your own PBX and overlaying ZCC onto existing infrastructure, then you can see why it becomes quite a powerful proposition. So all the industries, and I think we've heard from a few today actually, which is very nice. Healthcare, security, shipping, shipping and retail. It's a 24/7 operation. Yeah, and gone were the days when you have to factor in how many people need to sit on chairs to answer calls at that particular time. Why Zoom Contact Center? Self-service routing, which I've already talked about. One customer experience, video optimized. Now I see video being quite a major player within the contact center environment, and I'd like to say that we're probably one of the first ones to do it, and we just simply add it as an overlay. Again, it's not a separate application. But that's not all. Workforce management. I won't go through it in a huge amount of detail, but what is it? It takes the guesswork out of your agent scheduling or rostering. If you've got a voice contact center, you may not know how many agents need to service those calls at any particular one time. We can wrap around a workforce management in terms of any marketing that people are doing, how many people are sick effectively. If you're doing a marketing campaign, do we need to schedule in more staff to come in and service that engagement? So we can create shifts. So automatically we look at the history of the inbound and outbound calling. We can then schedule or shift how many people need to be in at that time. Now, when you combine that with skills-based routing, that can become a very powerful mechanism to enhance that customer experience. The last thing I want to hear is, thanks for calling so and so. Your call is very important to us. You'll be answered shortly. For me, my call isn't very important to you because you would have answered me straight away. So your competition is just a one click away on Google. So again, this starts to take some of the guesswork out of how I want my shift patterns to actually work. I can schedule people in, so I might move people out of particular groups. So if I've got an inbound sales call in particular products, I might want to take people out of my drill product and put them into my forklift product at a preset time. So again, what you're doing is trying to utilize the skill sets you've got and mapping out how they can schedule throughout the day or evening in that case, by maximizing their productivity. And forecasting. So it'll give you recommendations based on legacy information, based on whether a bank holiday is coming up, etc., etc. So again, this is just a very brief snapshot about workforce management, workforce optimization, whatever you want to call it. But it all goes around A, trying to save money, B, giving the best experience for your consumers, and C, just making everybody happy, which is what Zoom does most of the time, one hopes. So, I mean, I think that's a very brief snapshot on contact center. I think Ahmed's going to do a little bit of a demo about what it looks like. But for me, it's just a natural add-on to Zoom Phone, and a natural add-on application to that Zoom single pane of glass, single client application. And of course, you can do it on your mobile device, you can do it on hard phones, or you can do it on your laptop or desktop, wherever you may be. So on that note, are there any questions on contact center? I know it's a bit of a snapshot for you because contact centers can be a complete 1 or 2 day workshop in their own right, but Arcan the best place to come and look at what you're using at the moment, looking at your statistics about inbound calls, outbound calls, etc. So again, they're best place to work with you on those environments.